Frank,
Oh, yeah.
hey, when you look in the mirror, what do you then see your body as another appearing?
It's just looking in the mirror, and it's not like anything at all. It's the exact same. Whatever then will unfold. See, then again, if this was in a state, it would be sort of what can be imagined. Then is seeing slightly different. It's just face in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever is happening, whether it's thoughts about getting grey, so totally ordinary. I better
Mm,
shave my head. you
mm,
know, it's whatever then will be felt, thought. It's not a state. It's just looking in the mirror then, without all the stories maybe, but equally, it's whatever. It's everything. And I think what can be imagined, it's always imagined, is that maybe it's slightly different or subtly different, or there'll be seeing in the mirror just body, or whatever image of what that might be like. This isn't anyone's anywhere. So then looking in the mirror happens, and then with every thoughts, feelings, reactions, brushing the teeth, everything. So
but do you still somehow know that this is like, I mean, this is like now language dilemma, but that this is like your body mind, or is it like that any form of maybe one's identification is not part of the show anymore?
you see, it's all those images and awkwardness and ways are gone, of that there wouldn't be identification or not anything. There's just what's appearing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So then whatever,
Yeah.
completely and totally whatever is felt and
Mm.
thought and worried about and whatever would be just what is just happening then. And it's not like then that can be once removed from that can, it's like kind of dog shit is still a dog shit, and life is still life, hunger is still hunger. It's just everything happening, and you don't go around either going, oh God, this is just happening. It's just as whatever is. So it's not special. It's exactly 1,000% how it appears to be being. It's always somehow the that it has to be special, or that it has to be different, or that it has to be other. Can't be
Mm.
this. It can't be this to greater or more subtle degrees. It can't be. It can't. Of course, it can't be the feeling that it can't be this. Maybe it's that, but that won't be known. It's fully that then. Do you know? So then what's? So now it's just fully hearing, wondering, thinking. Can you get closer or further away from that? No, it's just what is. So there isn't. It's all the dreams and the images of uh, what this could be are gone. But then imaginations still appear to happen. Everything just happens. And you can say by itself, but it's not even by itself. You can say just happening, maybe. Um, uh, yeah. So then it's just looking in the mirror, exactly the same. More than likely given out about the state. you
What does
know,
that mean?
just, you know, God, I need to shave. I need to. I'm getting
Oh,
old. Look at
oh.
the state. Look at the state of
Ah.
our face. You know, all that shit. It's yeah.
Mm.
It's like, you see, that's where somehow the mystery then is as everything, not not known as mystery. Then it's not, you know, it's just brushing the teeth. It's just brushing the teeth, tying the laces of a shoe. It's just tying the laces of a shoe. That's what's happening. But the image in it can be, oh well, it must be a once removed, and the tying of the laces must be just amazing. It's just tying the fucking laces happening. It's just that.
Mm.
And it's so absolutely, utterly, completely ordinary. And then it can be, well, I want to know that it's totally ordinary, but it's as wanting to know that it's totally ordinary. You can't do that or not do that. There's just that. So
Yeah.
that's why the mystery doesn't begin or end. Everything is as mystery. Everything.
I don't want
And
to
so
hear
it's,
this.
what's that?
I just said, I don't want to hear this.
Everything, yeah. Of course you don't want to hear this. But then suddenly it's as, I don't want to hear this. Suddenly, I don't want to fucking hear this. There's nothing useful. There's nothing useful. Oh, but then there must be something useful. No, there's nothing useful in this at all. There's nothing useful at all. Nothing noble. Nothing known here anyway. It's exactly, totally, and completely just that. Just smiling, just wondering, just exactly as that. And shimmying the shoulders. You can't do that or not do that. It's just what appears to be. You'll never get closer or further away.
Hey Frank.
Hiya.
Yeah, I think you said earlier something like the me could be like an overlay that's happening in the happening.
Okay.
I was wondering if you would consider that that might have stopped for you.
Yeah, you see, that's kind of like, there's just what is. There isn't a me, but there can be what's described and felt as a kind of a constricted knowing of the world. And words like overlay make it seem then that there's an overlay to what is. No, there's just what's appearing to happen, inescapably that. And I think what drops, seeking appears to stop, and perhaps all the images of what this could be, the kind of movement for this to be other than it is. In other words, the movement that it can't be this, it must be something, and there must be proof then. Let's say that seeking, that's words for a seeking energy that's felt to be, it's probably that is as good a way to describe it, is that it can't be this, it must be other, and I'll know it when I get there. And I think all the images of life without self, no self, liberation, freedom, peace beyond understanding, and all those things to attain that you hear about, all of those just collapse. Everything collapses, really, and not one word then is seen to be anything at all. And that's all that can be said, maybe, you know, and that seeking for other can stop. But that doesn't mean that suddenly wanting a new couch can't happen. That would be just wanting a new couch or wanting something or whatever. This includes everything. There's already no one. So that's the overlay is kind of confusing. So that's, yeah, I probably won't use that again, I'd say. Because it does give the impression that there's layers and apartness and there's me, and there isn't.
You know,
Sorry about that. Go on, yeah.
You know, you were talking about looking in the mirror and like the phrases that everybody would use, something about I, you know, I need to whatever. But with that for you, like over here, like it's, you know, it's referring to a center in my body and me, the doer. But when those thoughts occur, there's
No one ever thought a thought. No one ever wondered, you know, about shaving or not shaving. There is no one already there now asking that question, right? No one in there asking that question.
I think you don't, it doesn't refer back to your body.
Well, you see, that's again, you see what you're looking for there is an imagination of what this could be like, and trying to imagine then that it can't be just what is now. It has to be another, slightly different, slightly better what is.
Definitely.
Slightly more interesting, and you know, it's like it is almost like hearing about a nice restaurant. It's not the same, but it's sort of the same sort of seeking, except here, like, you know, there's nothing is being fed then to all that. There's no change whatsoever. Nothing happens, and there's already no one in there now. Just there asking that question, wondering about looking in the mirror and association with the body. There's nobody in there now asking that. And that's not a known thing.
Yeah, it bamboozles me, but like it feels true to some part of.
Well, you see, all that's happening really here is a sort of a description appearing, right? Response and question, right? And beyond the story of that, nothing is happening. And in a way, it's a sort of a child likeness that's not a truth or a having or anything at all. It's actually the total cluelessness of just conversation appearing to happen, or just sharing appearing to happen. Now, obviously, there can be the felt feeling of wanting to know this, and that can be however it's being felt and described, you know, but the response to that seems to be there's just what is, however that is, and it's totally unknowable. So there's no answer to anything, and this is not an antidote to the aliveness that life presents as the mystery in everything, as everything, including wanting to know it. So then all there is looking in the mirror and whatever else then. And without the story, it's just, you can say, it's just happening. And so then whatever has been felt there, thought there, is just happening. But it won't be known then as if to say, oh, well, feeling this way is just happening. No, it's just feeling this way, or just thinking this way, or wondering, or whatever. There's not two, there's just that. Till suddenly, whatever, thoughts, feelings, hearing, wondering, butting.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you. it really it's just trying to get something out of nothing, and nothing seems to be filled with every reaction, and disappointment is probably up there, and dissatisfying, because there's nothing really in that for that which is used to getting something, you know. There's just the wanting for it to be something, just trying to get something out of nothing. But there must be, it's exactly what is, however that is, for better and for worse.
Hi, Frank.
Hiya.
So I was listening earlier. I tried to ask a question, but I was on my headphones. I was out walking.
All right.
When Mika was talking about the contracted energy, like that, I've heard all the speakers talk about this, except I don't know, maybe not you, but like Tony and Kenneth will say like around 2 years old, that contracted energy, like whatever. But what you guys were saying, that's just a story, right?
Well, you see, everything is a story, including saying it's a story is a story. It's like then it can be known. You know, it's like, oh,
Exactly.
well, that one is real then. And
Okay.
it makes certain things real and other things not real. But it would appear that that's what is what's described as that, is feeling like a person. But almost like it's validated everywhere then, because everybody else feels like a person. So then I must feel like a person. And suddenly then there's a communication which says there is no person. And that kind of opens the mind a little bit, or cracks open some sort of held tightness to say, what? But I am a person, haven't I? I do feel like a person, don't I? And that can be then how it can be a push and pull between the safety of that which is constantly being validated forever and ever, ever, to suddenly a situation where it's not validated at all and nothing is validated. And always the kind of desire is, oh, somebody must know, somebody must tuck me in at night and make all this noble.
Yeah. Well, that it was great to hear that, because there's something that when I would hear that, it's like, oh, but that sounds like a knowing, like at 2 years old, this is what happens. And I was like,
another linear story to make it all, oh, well, that's what happens then. And maybe that then can happen to me. That's essentially it. I was contracted, that's real. And now there can be expansion, and that'll be real too. And it's lost in stories and images of what that would be like, because the general movement is it can't be this. But all there is it can't be this. All there is that just happening, let's just say.
Yeah.
And nothing is noble, and everything is a story. That's the, amazingly, wonderfully, everything is a story. Liberation is a story. Self, no self, saying it's a story is a story.
Yeah.
Everything, not a thing is noble, and unknowing is not a known thing either. So then, well, what can be said? Actually, whatever appears to be being said and heard and reacted, because it's all just happening in total free fall. And that's not a knowing either. They're just words. Who knows what the fuck anything is? And then it's free to be exactly how it appears, and whatever. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Frank.
Hiya.
Hiya. That just reminded me of something my 3.5-year-old said. Just I never would talk about anything like this to the kids, but he said to me, "Are we real?" Or he said, "Am I real?" And I said, "Oh, no." And he looked at me and I said, "Well, you're not real and you're not unreal." And he started laughing. He said, "That's so funny." And then off he went doing whatever he was doing. But it was just quite funny, his reaction.
Yeah, it's lovely, really lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave credit.
Yeah, yeah. Kids just can, yeah, breathe. It's really, there's just, that it's just happening. Kids are just happening, and that can be quite obvious in, you know, that you learn, everything is learned then how to be. So when you ask a kid, how are you? Actually, they kind of hate that question. You can see, how are you doing? They go, and really, that's the honest answer. I don't know how the fuck I am. It's a stupid question, but that's what we all, how are you? Oh, I'm good, thanks. How are you back? Because that's what adults and people say. That's what the humans beings say. That's what we've learned to say. And the kids just go, can you not ask me that fucking question? And they just walk off. Or they won't look at you. Look me in the eye. And that's what, you know, poor kids, look me in the eye and all that. And they just go, why? And just, can I not go out and play with my friends? And it's just the nonsense adults who talk about weather, really, then. God, the weather's great. Yeah. Okay. It's great when it's out raining and they're jumping in the puddles, coming back soaking wet and running in the fields and the puddles. And the poor old adults are dying to actually jump in the puddles, you know? Mm. What a long, weird trip it's been to find you were back where you started, just life. Never even started. Wherever you go and whatever you do, it's this. Appear to do. Just wholly what is. Just, you won't be known as a thing apart, but called life. Call it life, wholeness, oneness, the nameless, and it won't be known as any of those. There's nothing apart. Yeah, but what can you say about stories? That's a fact, yeah. Everything's a story. "360-degree about turn." Back to this, you could say too. It's like kind of a loop. And I think, you know, maybe the story of me is a loop. And you could say some loops are small, some loops are just unimaginably like the loops of Saturn, maybe, they just go around and never end. And then suddenly there's no start to a loop nor an end. That's just a story, but it's like the circle of me, just it's just happening. And there's no start point to a loop. That, you know, saying things like that though makes it almost understandable or explainable as that then. And that's something for the mind to chew on, but it's just words, it's just descriptive. It's never lost and never found, this. But seeking can appear to happen. It's like what you've been seeking is ordinary life, and that's this. Yeah, you're just not seeking ordinary life, but seeking appears to happen. there isn't ordinary life. There isn't anything. There's just this isiness, this what is, and that includes then everything. And what is thought is just this without the knowing of this, because it's in a way, and not in a way, it's the knowing that this is anything at all is what the, you could say, the part of the physiological contraction, that it's knowable, and that's the prison, and that's, you could say, drives the seeking for it not to be the known. But the knowing can only be knowing, that's it. And seeking can only be seeking fully that. And jewel merrymaking. Yeah. See, it is just so totally and utterly inescapably ordinary. What we're talking about is this talking, hearing of a voice, sitting on a chair, breathing, and the somehowness of wanting to know what this is. And that's just also happening. And not one part is explainable, knowable, and no story really will hold this, and not one word will bind it, and nothing needs to be remembered, nothing needs to be taken away, to just sit in the chair and breathe, and for whatever to be, for whatever to happen, it's just how it is. So then this is free, as it always has been free, to be exactly however it appears to be being. This this is it. Yeah. So thank you very, very much. Lovely to chat with you all. Yeah. Have an unbelievable rest of Sunday. Yeah. Take it however you appear to be taking it. Woo!
There's just this isiness.
Just this isiness, yeah. And when this ends, there'll be just this isiness. And when you drink a glass of water, there'll be that. And when you're, whatever appears to be happening, it's just this. You can't escape it. You can't not escape it. And even wanting to escape it might be what is, but there's just that, not you and. So, yeah, totally and utterly unknowable.